The University of the Free State is one of the oldest higher education institutions in South Africa. Established in 1904, we produce sought-after undergraduate and postgraduate students in 7 faculties across 3 campuses in Bloemfontein and in Qwaqwa in the Eastern Free State. We create opportunities and growth through leading learning and teaching, focused research, and impactful engagement with society. Situated in the heart of South Africa, our character of caring and diversity translates into an outstanding university experience.
Most distinguished graduates and participants, by virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby constitute this congregation of the University of the Free State for the awarding and conferral of qualifications in the faculties of Economic and Management Sciences, Education, and the Humanities. I therefore award and confer qualifications on all the candidates presented to this congregation. In addition, I hereby award and confer qualifications on those whose names appear in the program.
Welcome to the virtual graduation ceremony of the University of the Free State. A special word of welcome to the members of the University Management and our Chancellor, Professor Bonang Mohale, who are part of this ceremony. This is our 4th virtual graduation ceremony, and we remain humbled and inspired by your grit and courage to push forward in this new, extraordinary world. Although you may have felt uncertain about the future at times, you refused to give up, and instead, you boldly crafted your own destiny. I look forward to seeing you grow into the leaders of tomorrow. I know the world will be a better place with your input and contribution. Over the last year, each one of us had many similar and also many unique challenges. But today, we unite in celebrating each and every one of you. We only see winners. I admire your resilience. We can all learn a lot from you. It would have been easy to quit, but you chose not to. And we are extremely proud of you. At the University of the Free State, we understand that the modern world requires graduates with more than just a qualification. That is why we invest extra time and resources in teaching you the skills and values needed to survive and thrive in our new world. The first one is critical inquiry. Throughout your studies, we encourage you to engage with your course content, to investigate the facts, understand it, and also perhaps challenge it. Critical thinkers are sought after. People who are prepared to see things differently are excelling globally. Be one of them. Secondly, appreciate the people around you. We need each other. Society is dependent on the supportive interaction of its members to survive and ultimately thrive. And lastly, mind yourself. Integrity is the biggest gift you can give yourself, as well as those around you. Go into the world and make the difference you were born for. You have all the knowledge and skills and values you need. Use the platform you have. Enjoy your graduation ceremony. Congratulations. Baie geluk. Ria le lebohisa.
Dr. Sipho Pityana is a business leader with extensive experience, having served in both executive and non-executive capacities on several local and international boards of blue-chip companies. He is the founder and chairman of the private investment firms Izingwe Capital and Izingwe Holdings. He is currently chairman of the JSE-listed Redefined Properties and non-executive director of the Absa Bank Group. He recently stepped down as chairman of Anglo Gold Ashanti Limited, the world's third largest gold producer. Dr. Pityana serves on the Presidential Job Council, is a leader of the business delegation to the National Economic Development and Labour Council, and he was one of the founding members of the governing body of the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration. His passion for education has seen him serve as a registrar of the University of Fort Hare, chairperson of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, and recently retired as chairperson of the University of Cape Town Council. The University of the Free State will confer the Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa upon Dr. Pityana on the 21st of April 2021.
Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor of University, Professors Mohale and Peterson respectively, Chairperson and members of the University Council, members of the Senate and academic faculty, fellow graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Dumelang and Goeiedag. Hearty congratulations to the class of 2020 on acquiring your university degrees. If your families are proud of your achievements, the nation is even more so, and grateful to your parents and everyone who supported you in your journey. As a generation of the fees must fall era, you will be surprised to know that one of the greatest drawbacks to Africa's development is the scarcity of skills and low education outcomes. A visitor from Mars would be a puzzle completely that there could be youth that is academically qualified and desperate to be educated at our great institutions of higher learning, and yet can't, solely because of their financial circumstances. Many are children whose parents made loans to a point of being credit unworthy to see them through quality schools that would afford them best chance of entry and successful completion at a university, only to discover that they are deemed not poor enough to qualify for state assistance into university and not rich enough to pay their way through, sometimes not even credit-worthy enough to secure bank loans. Many give up and are condemned to lowly, unskilled and menial jobs. Not only is this a waste of human talent, but an avoidable travesty, one that requires government and business to join hands and find resources to guarantee that such great potential and investment by parents who had given up so much doesn't go to waste. Year in, year out, we watch as if helpless protests that often turn violent around the start of every academic year. Surely by now, we must know that we have to find cogent, sustainable solutions to this. Similarly, many of you are going to have to contend with yet another serious labor market deficiency, the growing queue of unemployed graduates. Yet, you'll find many in responsible roles in society who don't have as much as a standard 10 education. In their ranks are some politicians, and including local councillors, members of our provincial and national legislatures, who are charged with enormous responsibility of finding solutions to the nation's most complex problems, and yet they are educationally ill-equipped. Both the Public Service Commission and the Auditor General's reports are littered with examples of how the continued employment of incompetence in the state has crippled our civil service. This is not only confined to the public service, but also the private sector too, where it is perfectly conceivable to have white male executives with no tertiary education supervise some with multiple university qualifications and sometimes further professional training. Rampant nepotism, old boys networks, continued racial and gender discrimination has seen the marginalization of great human talent. When in 1996 we enabled Parliament to pass the Employment Equity Act, our vision was that of a society that would give its back to these practices. And yet, workplace discrimination continues unabated. When they are discussed skills, I always insist that in a society with such a small number of university graduates, we can ill afford to have any of them roam the streets jobless. How many times do people encounter police officers in police stations that can't even write a simple sentence in any language? A critical first step in a journey to successfully prosecute crime. I could say more. I say all of this to you, to suggest that you let no one have you doubt your self-worth and that what you are capable of offering society. Be resilient and deploy the same discipline and dedication that saw you complete your university studies. As you embark on your next journey, remember never to be discouraged by obstacles that come your way. There'll be many, some of which I have alluded to above. After all, for every door that shuts in your face, there are many more that open. If you lament over those that shut, you may be blind to the many that not only open to you, but are endowed with beautifully nourished greener pastures, all waiting for you. Once again, congratulations. Be assured that your future is bright and it is in your hands to make wise choices. We trust you to do so. Thank you very much and good luck.
unobubele, unobuntu, uthobekile, ulilizwe lobusi nobisi, unobunganga, unamandla, unobuchule, uqhubekile. Qaqamba kwezindini le-Afrika, khaya lami mzansi wami. Oh, umuhle mzansi Afrika. Oh, umuhle mzansi Afrika.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award the following qualifications to the candidates that I introduced to you. Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, higher certificates. Faculty of Education, Advanced Certificates and National Professional Diplomas. Faculty of the Humanities Higher Certificates.
most distinguished graduates, participants, honorary doctorate recipients, and guests. This year's graduation ceremonies are special indeed, as an honorary doctorates will be awarded to individuals who have contributed profoundly to the progress of society. Congratulations to Dr. Sipho Mila Pichana and Justice Zakaria Mohammed Yakub for the pivotal roles that you have played in the transformation of the landscape of South Africa, socially, politically, and economically. We also congratulate Dr. Rudolf Johannes van Niekerk, who received an honorary doctorate earlier this week. It was the South African traditional healer and author Baba Vusa Mazulu Credo Mutwa who opined, "I weep even now when Eurocentric education is being fed to our children. Fed in order to make them Afrophobes, creatures that hate and despise their motherland, which look down in contempt upon their own people. Because this is what all European educated black people do. They despise Africa and all she stands for. And they are in contempt of the culture of her people. They are still even now doing the colonialists' dirty work for them. Because if you want to destroy the culture of a nation, you must brainwash the youth of that nation and make them do your dirty work for you." The death of father of four, Mthokozisi Edwin Ntumba, at the hands of the police during a recent student protest in Braamfontein is an opportune moment to pause and reflect on the 8th of the 10 principles of the Freedom Charter as adopted at the Congress of the People at Kliptown on the 16th of June 1955. It boldly declared that the doors of learning and culture shall be opened, that the government shall discover, develop, and encourage national talent for the enhancement of our cultural life, that all the cultural treasures of mankind should be open to all through the free exchange of books, ideas, and contacts with other lands, that the aim of education should be to teach the youth to love their people and their culture, to honor human brotherhood, liberty, and peace, that education should be free, compulsory, universal, and equal for all children, that higher education and technical training should be open to all by means of state allowances and scholarships awarded on the basis of merit, that adult illiteracy should be ended by a mass state education plan, that teachers should have all the rights of other citizens, and that the caliber in cultural life, sport, and education should be abolished. Universities were initially created to connect people. In our country, after 27 years of democracy, we have all succeeded in increasing the percentage of students attending institutions of higher learning from 7 to 11%. By definition, it makes you a small part of the elite, and I hope that you will resist the temptation to be elitist and therefore exclusionary. For us, the biggest injustice we faced as a country pre-1994 was exclusion. If the year 2020 was the year of the digital revolution, please join us in making 2021 the year of the ark, bringing people in. To empower universities to become inclusive centers of excellence, to be awake to persistent inequalities and how these continue to shape a sense of belonging, ownership, identity, access, language, symbols, attitudes, and expectations. To support the emergence of institutions that nurture young people to come out of these institutions, not only with hard skills, but with a sense of social justice, critical thinking, and curiosity. To conceptualize ethical frameworks that will guide societal engagement with universities. To promote public ownership of higher education institutions where the public recognizes its role as both beneficiaries and stakeholders in the accomplishments of universities. To develop a social justice approach to higher education where universities propel democratic engagement and advocate for academic freedom, which nurtures success of the higher education system through assessments of different perspectives. Help us in our pursuit of equality. To inform, to inspire and ignite new efforts to achieve a world where eventually every woman and every man, every black person and every white person can look forward to fair and equal treatment. A world in which being a woman or a black person is not a barrier to becoming a leader in any field, nor a factor contributing to negative perceptions of an individual's leadership. Equality is something that both affects everyone and has the potential to benefit everyone. We all lose out if we dismiss it as simply a student's, women's, or black people's issue. Much more is needed to achieve equality than mere compliance with the law. All the great leaders have one characteristic in common, namely the willingness to unequivocally confront the major anxiety of the people in their time. This, and not much else, is the essence of leadership. Many of you had to overcome a lot during your journey to get here today. You had your own personal challenges inside and outside the lecture rooms. Most of the year was spent adapting to a better normal and dealing with the challenges brought on by the pandemic. Some of you have lost loved ones to the COVID-19 pandemic, while others have had to deal with funding studies, or even both. The list is endless. Many of you are the first in your families to reach this milestone. So, even in the midst of the disruptive year that you have experienced, you have earned this moment, and you should be extremely proud. Graduates of the University of the Free State, remember that you are now all role models. Your involvement in what matters most in this country, your willingness to act against injustice and inequality, and your courage to stand up for what is right, these actions will define you and speak volumes. Our country needs your leadership, and many have been waiting for the likes of you to come along. You hold so much power. You have earned your degree, and it is now up to you to use it. Being a change agent, defender of democracy, and social justice activists requires immense grounding and self-awareness. Make sure that you surround yourself with real people in real communities while inculcating kindness, empathy, passion, and awareness of the real issues. Change requires activism, and this activism can only come with clear strategy, action, and mobilizing. Many of you are already doing this. You have already started on the grounds of the university campuses. No one is better positioned than you to take activism to the next level. Also be reminded that none of this can be done alone. Align yourself with those who have a common cause and carry along those who have been left out and those who are struggling. It is up to you to build bridges, remain morally astute, and grow your coalitions if you wish to tackle and complete the unfinished goals of this country and bring about a better world. Congratulations to all our graduates and honorary doctorate recipients. May you have continued success in all your endeavors.
Così si geleli Africa, mono paganismo pondoloio, I suoi imitandas oietu, così si gelela Tina, Lucia Poloio, more the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Congratulations to all our graduates on this wonderful achievement, as well as to students with distinctions who have excelled in their various fields of study. Most distinguished graduates and participants, this concludes the proceedings for this morning. By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of the Free State.